Hey, have you guys ever heard of Phoebe Bridgers?
No.
Well, you're in luck. I'm listening to an artist's top 5 songs and giving you a rundown on each one. When I looked it up on Google, Phoebe's top 5 songs were Motion Sickness, Scotch Street, Funeral, Smoke Signals, and Garden Song. Stick around to the end of the video to see how I rearranged the songs from my favorite to my least favorite.
I have motion sickness.
Motion Sickness starts with an amazing and recognizable guitar strum and drum shuffle. It's about Phoebe getting over an ex-lover who wasn't good to her and her resolve to be better than when she was in the relationship. She's both glad that things are over and also not really sure how to feel, which has made her emotionally unavailable. And the first lyrics of the song do a great job at setting this tone.
I hate you for what you did, and I miss you like a little kid.
Later on, she alludes to the other person having their own serious problems, but never really owning up to them or trying to fix anything.
And while you're bleeding on your back in a glass, I'll be glad that I made it out and sorry that it all went down like it did.
The other person is causing all of this pain and is trying to get Phoebe to get help, but won't run up to their own stuff and won't get their own help. Over the course of the song, Phoebe makes several references to her want to improve herself. At first, she feels powerless, but grows more and more certain.
There are no words in the English language. I could scream to drown you out,
12 seconds later.
but I will try to drown you out.
At a certain point, she stops trying to fight all of the difficult things in her life and just decides to try to get better.
Walking Scott Street feeling like a stranger.
Scotch Street is a very simple song that gets more and more complex as it goes along, and I think that it's because the lyrics take place around her running into an old friend who's not as successful as she is. The biggest chunk of the song takes place in a conversation between Phoebe and this old friend that she's run into who is still a musician but is struggling with their success.
I asked you how it's playing drums. Said it's too much shit to carry. And what about the band? You said they're all getting married.
The lyrics center around this conversation with an old friend, another musician, who she's clearly fallen out of touch with, and the whole song sort of rotates around Phoebe's guilt and coming to grips with her own musical success, kind of comparing it to this friend whose music career is not going as well as hers. All of this information comes after the first verse, where we get pretty clear evidence that Phoebe is grappling with the effects of her own career and success and how it is changing her everyday life.
There's helicopters over my head every night when I go to bed.
Musically, it starts off very soft with just vocal and acoustic guitar, but eventually builds up with drums, electric guitar, vocals, synths, counter melodies, harmonies, and just becomes this explosion. All of these musical elements kind of gel together to make the song feel even that much more emotionally punctuated.
I'm singing at a funeral tomorrow.
Funeral starts off with a beautiful but haunting electric guitar feedback sound. This basically sets the stage for the rest of the song tonally. The song is full of emotional turmoil, and eventually after the feedback dies out, it just goes back to simple vocals and acoustic guitar. Phoebe is singing about even though she has to be singing at a funeral the next day, she can't help but ruminate on her own sadness and her own emotions, almost not letting herself feel them in the face of a greater source of grief and emotion. Essentially, many of the lyrics focus on comparing Phoebe's sadness to this more obvious example of grief. And she is essentially not allowing herself to feel those feelings legitimately because there's this more pressing, obvious case of grief.
And last night I blacked out in my car, and I woke up in my childhood bed, wishing I was someone else, feeling sorry for myself when I remembered someone's kid is dead.
In a song that's full of emotional turmoil, that's set up by the guitar feedback in the beginning, the soft vocals and strings really just hit the listener where they live.
Sending smoke signals.
Smoke Signals, at the heart of it, is a song about falling in love and finding your person. Now, whether the lyrics are indicative of platonic or romantic love is up to interpretation, but I personally chose to read it as a song about romantic love. Right off the bat, Phoebe references Walden by Henry David Thoreau, which, from what I can gather, is essentially about finding the meaning of life. Now, with that in mind, you immediately feel... Note to self, don't drink seltzer. Shoot. Maybe I'll keep that in because it's kind of funny. Okay. With that in mind, you immediately feel that she is super close to whoever she's singing to. And the entire song just feels that much more intimate.
One of your eyes is always half shut. Something happened when you were a kid. I didn't know you then, and I'll never understand why it feels like I did.
She clearly finds solace in this person, and even goes so far to sing about how she feels like it's fate or destiny.
And you must have been looking for me, sending smoke signals.
Even further emphasizing the fact that she feels like this person is her escape, she sings,
Just checking out to hide from life and all of our problems. I'm gonna solve them with you riding shotgun, speeding 'cause fuck the cops.
At this point in the song, Phoebe's talking about how all she wants to do is face all of life's problems head on with this person. Which, at the end of the day, is all relationships are about. Lyrically, the song ends on a fairly ambiguous note that I can't quite decipher on my own, if I'm gonna be honest. So feel free to let me know what you think it means in the comments below. I feel like art should be an open conversation and lyrics should be up for debate, so again, please let me know. The music in this song mostly consists of finger-picked electric guitar, strings, and obviously backup vocals and harmonies that just add the right layer of bittersweetness that really makes this song hurt in like the best way possible.
And when your skinhead neighbor goes missing, I'll plant a garden in the yard.
Garden Song is a song that touches on a lot of emotions that are experienced by many young adults, namely getting older and feeling like time is sort of slipping away and your wants and needs are changing drastically over time. At the start of the song, she's clearly romanticizing a quiet life in a house on a hill with a garden outside, but she quickly goes down a bit of a rabbit hole and starts to think about what she used to dream of. She doesn't quite know what she wants out of life anymore, and while she's recounting a story from when she was 17, she doesn't know if what she wanted when she was younger is still something that she wants in the present.
I don't know when you got taller. See our reflection in the water off a bridge at the Huntington. I hopped the fence when I was 17. Then I knew what I wanted.
Musically, this song is very simple and mostly just has acoustic guitar with a very simple beat and some sound effects. But there's also something very out of the ordinary. In the chorus, there's a secondary, very deep voice. And I can't come up with much of a reason for it to be there narratively, but I think that it just adds to the texture and makes it even more dreamlike. Overall, Phoebe's ability to write incredibly emotional and detailed lyrics just astounded me, and it's incredible that she doesn't get more credit for the sheer talent that she possesses. She's absolutely one of my favorites now. My personal ranking is as follows: Motion Sickness, Garden Song, Funeral, Scotch Street, and Smoke Signals. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far. If you disagree with any of my ratings on the songs, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear what you have to say, because obviously nothing I said is set in stone. And until next time, guys, catch you later. Bye!